Hey, speak for yourself, listeners. Before we start the show, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. So download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com. Now, let's start the show. Welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Marcellus Wiley here, Emmanuel.
My brother, you look good.
I look good?
That purple look good now.
Dearly beloved. Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. And let's get it started, big dog, with Lamar Jackson, who was voted #1 overall in the league by players in the NFL's top 100 list. Lamar is the reigning MVP, but it still came as a surprise to some that he beat out former MVP Patrick Mahomes, who recently led the Chiefs to a Super Bowl title while winning MVP for that game as well. Mahomes didn't let finishing 4th overall slide as he tweeted out an emoji of a pencil and paper as if to say he'll remember this. So, Acho, you surprised players voted Lamar NFL's best over Mahomes?
Absolutely, bro.
You surprised? You are surprised.
I'm surprised. Well, I'm surprised because
You're surprised.
The players, they just lost all credibility by me, Marcellus. They lost all credibility
Look
by
at you
me,
are
bro.
officially a media member now.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying they lost credibility because Lamar he's likable. He's lovable. I love Lamar. Love Lamar. Swaggy. He's being his own best version of himself. I love that. But Marcellus, bro, if you was going to redraft, right? You got all the players to choose from. Every one of them.
You love changing stuff.
You got Russ.
Redraft.
You got Lamar. You got Donald. You got Mahomes. You telling me, bro, you're not going to take Mahomes first and put him at #1?
Another question. I'll see that at the bottom right there. Who would you draft first in the redraft? But go ahead. Do you, Acho?
Well, it's the same question, bro.
Oh, it is?
It's the same question.
Okay.
Because if you don't have Mahomes, at #1, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense at all. You got to try to make it make sense.
I will make it make sense. First of all, when you draft someone, you're thinking about a body of work, projection, forecast.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yes, you are. You're not thinking about every single moment, every single season, they're going to be the best player. And let's be real. Last year, Patrick Mahomes was hurt. Does that affect if you're going to win the most valuable player?
What happened when he was healthy? What happened when he was healthy?
He won it all. But guess what? When you're talking about why the players voted my favorite player right now, Lamar Jackson, #1, it wasn't a surprise. And I want to give it to you like you may receive it.
Please,
you know, my therapist always talks about throwing the perfect pass in life. Don't worry, you know, my wife and my friends. He's like, you know, you just got to give them information in a way that they can't drop it. That's the perfect pass in life. All right, you ready for this perfect pass?
You talking about perfect passes like Mahomes throws, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like Lamar Jackson, who threw more touchdown passes than him last year.
Remember that part?
That part. Who was #2 in the pocket last year? Lamar Jackson. Okay. So I'm going to give it to you because you're an athlete. I'm not. I just could play football. It's a big difference. I am the worst basketball player ever, despite the stereotypical look. And I always get picked first when I walk up to a gym and I laugh. I'm like, oh, we about to lose because I'm on your team. But let me give it to you in basketball terms. What Patrick Mahomes can do is throw the football better than anybody, maybe that we've ever seen, right? But look at the position historically. The lesser athletic guys have been able to ball out at quarterback, correct? Like, if we're all out there playing light pole to light pole in front of the house, the receivers and the running backs are the athletes, and we're like, hey, dog, you just stay here and throw the ball, and we'll go get it, right? That's how the game is on a primal level. So when you see Patrick Mahomes go out there and dart, you're like, that is insane, amazing. I take nothing away from you. But in terms of a grading system, our primal response gives that about a 9.7. You know what gets us to a 10.0? When you get another man in a phone booth against his will and make him look stupid, and that other man is a tremendous athlete. I got a little video of some tremendous athletes just to let you know what Lamar Jackson was able to do to embarrass other players out there. We got our Browns corner, Denzel Ward. Just look how athletic this dude is.
Athletic?
I mean, athletic. Bengals, free safety, Jesse Bates is going to be out. Look at his footwork. Look at the footwork. Typewriters on their cleats. Like, you see all this?
Where are you going, Marcel?
Oh, I'm going somewhere with this. Once this video ends, you're going to see something else.
I see no pads on, sir.
You don't see any pads. That's the beauty of this, because the fans only see the pads on. They don't always see the athlete underneath the player. Look at all this tremendous footwork. And then, let me give you a little more power. Look at that. Look at that. Look at these dudes. These are the dudes that don't even.
I see it.
You see it?
I see it.
Like, Acho, this was you, because you ain't playing a lot of games, so you know. This is how you used to ball, right? Acho out there killing it, loving life. Now, Lamar Jackson was able to take guys like this, who are great athletes, and say that and do that. And do that. No. And when you see that, and then at the end of all of this insane greatness, look at this. Look at the fluidity. Look at how easy he's making this against the best of the best. I'm not done. Please give me a long-winded.
You should be.
Let me give you a long-winded time. You know what they do at the end of the year? They ask those same guys, who's the best player you played against? Who's the best player out there in the game? The one that made them embarrassed. The one that took them to a place where they felt like it was Pop Warner versus pros is why Lamar Jackson.
Here's the thing, Marcellus, because I know what kind of guy you are. Ladies and gentlemen, I have figured out what kind of guy Marcellus is. I have.
My wife hasn't. It's been 5 years.
Marcellus, how many points, because you're on this basketball track, how many points is a slam dunk worth?
2.
Yeah, the slam dunk is worth 2. It's going to get everybody hyped. They're going to hoop. They're going to holler, oh, my God, he just got dunked on. But a three-pointer that might not get everybody to stand up is worth more than that dunk that got everybody to hoop and holler.
Yes.
And while Lamar, he going to get you up out your chair now. He going to make you hoop and holler. He going to make you whoop, whoop. He going to do that. But the thing about it is, Pat Mahomes, you going to act like he's not done and embarrassing more people than Lamar already has? Like, think about this, bruh. Pat Mahomes, best winning percentage with 28 wins and only 8 losses in NFL history when you're talking about with that minimum amount of games played. Pat Mahomes, 25 years old, Super Bowl win plus NFL MVP. So I like your take, Marcel.
I knew you did. I came with some
but your take was very video game-esque. You showed me some highlights and said, well, those highlights should make him be the #1 player. I need some substance, coach. I need some substance, because that slam dunk, guess what? It's only worth 2 points.
I'm sorry, but the percentages show that even if you do those slam dunks, if you do them at a 50, 60, 70%, which they shooting a field goal in the paint, guess what? That's higher than you shooting 30, 35, 40%, even though you're going to miss some. I'm not even going to play that number game. Here's the thing. Since we're going to stick to the sport, I can't play basketball. Steph Curry gets disrespected a lot, right? Because people look at him like, anybody go out there and shoot. Nobody can shoot like you, but your neighbor next door who has a nice basketball court can shoot. But can he go in the paint against the trees and embarrass them and chop that lumber? And that's what Lamar Jackson can do. Not only can he shoot, throw that damn ball, more touchdown passes than Mahomes last year.
Mahomes was hurt.
Oh, now the hurt, and then that comes into the consideration of why he's not the MVP. I'm going to tell you who Lamar Jackson really is. Because people look at his ability to shoot, to throw the ball like Steph Curry, but they don't minimize it. And then they see his dunking ability, how he can go in there and do it. He's Kevin Durant. And last time I checked, when Kevin Durant and Steph Curry were on different teams, there was an argument who was the better player. But when they got on the same team, where did that argument go? It went silent just like you just did. Let's move on to a quarterback who didn't make the top 100 list, Carson Wentz, whose salary is surpassing his production. Wentz has a $34 million cap hit in 2021 with 0 playoff wins. Not to mention, the Eagles drafted Jalen Hurts this offseason in the 2nd round, who comes with a much cheaper price tag. This prompted a Philly radio station to ask if this is a make-or-break year for Wentz. So, Acho, is this a make-or-break year for Wentz?
Absolutely not, bro.
Oh, here your Philly love.
No. Ain't no Philly love. Here go my Philly logic. Here go my Philly logic, bruh. Carson Wentz is 27 years old. Carson Wentz is the only quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 4,000 yards with no 500-yard receivers. Carson Wentz was the Eagles' offense last year.
I give you that.
Like, Carson Wentz, you can't say the Eagles without saying Carson Wentz. Dude accounted for 74% of the team's offense. I don't want to hear about the fact that Carson Wentz is commanding a large cap. He should have been paid everybody's salary last year outside of Zach Ertz, because it was Wentz and Ertz putting the team on their back, bro. Think about this for a second, bro. Everybody got hurt from D-Jack to Alshon. You just go out there and it's Carson. And Carson looked left and he see Greg Ward, a former quarterback. He looked right, he see Deontay Burnett, and then he got Ertz. So it's not about when I think about if somebody's being overpaid, are they being overpaid for their production? Carson Wentz is overproducing. It's not his fault that the Eagles got bumped in the first round of the playoffs. Because what was the biggest question around Wentz, Marcellus? Can he stay healthy? What did he do last year? He stayed healthy outside of a cheap shot, coach. Outside of a cheap shot. So Carson Wentz, this ain't no make or break season. He already done enough, and he only 27. What you gonna do? Give up a tier 1.5 quarterback and 28? Come on, bro.
That's the Philly front office texting you says seats are still good this year, even though no fans are staying. So, oh my God. Let me say this.
Say it.
First of all, I have to give my man Joe Giglio of 94 WIP Philly Radio props. Boy, did he break this thing down. And he broke it down without bias, which is rare for some local writers and local people on the air. Sometimes they lean like you do. You lean into your former team.
I ain't leaning. Okay. I'm trying to see how I'm sitting.
Well,
you see how I'm sitting.
When I hear statements that everybody got hurt, and then you leave out Carson Wentz's name, he got hurt too.
How?
Cheap shot. And I knew you were going to go there. And now you're in that rabbit hole, and I hate to do this, but let's put up Carson Wentz's injury history, which doesn't just show us he got hurt last year off a cheap shot. It actually shows his injury history where he gets hurt every single year. Let's go back. 2020, which was really 2019 season, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 8 times in college. He missed 5+ playoff games that were all started by Nick Foles. So when you want to talk about injury history around him, he is the narrator. He is the epicenter of injury. Here's where Carson Wentz is. 3 years ago, NFL top 100 list. Guess what number he was? 3. This year, where is he? Not on the list.
The list we've already proven is invalid, sir. So don't try to use this list to justify your ignorant point.
No. I will prop myself up on that list to say this. Beyond what you think in Mahomes and Jackson's ability, what's the greatest ability?
Availability.
What'd you say?
Availability.
Availability. Carson Wentz has proven time and time again, no matter how good or even great you have shown us, we can't rely on you. And this narrative is not even orchestrated by me. This is not a narrative where there are haters versus those who support him. This is the organization saying this, and we're just listening to him. Why did they draft Jalen Hurts in the second round, I ask you?
I don't know.
You know why?
I can't make sense of that.
A front office that is driven by analytics, that makes smart decisions, has already won a Super Bowl in recent years, is making us another smart decision. They're like, look, we love you, Carson Wentz, but in 2021, man, you'll be worth, what, $34 million cap hit? Sorry, brother, and you can't play in January. You know how many quarters of January football we have seen in Carson Wentz's career? One quarter. Sorry, brother.
Here's my thing, Marcellus, because you try to point out all the injuries, but the NFL, it's not what have you done for me. It's what have you done for me lately.
Well, he got knocked out his last game.
It was a cheap shot. Me and you, straight up, I'm not going to do nothing. But if you turn around and I cheap shot you, I would assume you might get knocked out too.
Or I might stand up again.
Potentially, but a cheap shot I'm not counting as an injury. But you said 18 he got hurt. 17 once got hurt.
Back.
How about,
ACL.
I get that.
Rib.
But what I don't get, because what you're saying is you're making it sound like Carson Wentz ain't still balling, because over the last 3 seasons, Marcellus, 6 quarterbacks have thrown for 10,000 yards plus and won 60% of their games. You want to know who's on that list?
Who is?
Carson Wentz on that list, along with Breeze, Rodgers, Wilson, Brady, Goff. So even while he's missing time, dude is still clearly balling above and beyond. So I don't care about the fact that you're telling me what happened in 17 and what happened in 18. Can we focus on 2020? You're out here living in the past.
Wait a minute. You're the same dude that always tells me when I throw up yards, you know who else threw up for yards last year? Jameis Winston and them dudes. You always clown that yardage thing, but now that's your ammo. Okay. Since you're scrolling through yardage, how many yards did he throw for in the playoffs last year or his whole career?
Bruh. See, this is the thing. This is what Marcel's gonna try to do.
I'm not trying to do it. I'm gonna do it.
Name 2 of the receivers that were on the team in the playoffs.
You and me.
Robert Davis, Greg Ward, Deontay Burnett, J.J. Arceo.
Finish the game.
2 of them cats were on practice squad December 12th.
Play in you cannot be a franchise quarterback. Let's be real. Because sometimes in these shows, you know, the production takes over. We try to win an argument. Let's just be right.
Be real. I'm gonna calm down.
Me too. Okay.
Calm down.
If you're getting paid that much money, you're a franchise quarterback,
That's
right?
Facts.
Do you think it's a part of the criteria of a franchise quarterback to at least finish one playoff game?
I understand the point.
You hear that? That's that tightness in your jaw.
Jaw loose.
That's what the Philly organization is debating right now, so they have an insurance policy. His name is Jalen Hurts.
The only thing that I look at, because sometimes you look at analytics, and I understand. Yeah. We can throw analytics away. I'm going to turn my notes over.
I'm done.
I don't even need my notes.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to just talk to you man to man.
There you go.
When I look at the Eagles squad and when I look at Wentz, I think there's one quarterback who could have done what Wentz did for that team last year, and his name is Russell Wilson. That is the only other quarterback in the National Football League who could have done and is shown to do more with less. So if you're, and I'm not including Pat Mahomes, including Lamar Jackson, including Deshaun Watson, including Aaron Rodgers, I think that Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson are the only two quarterbacks who could have taken not even lemons and made lemonade. I don't know what Wentz took. He took lemon seeds and he churned them joints and made lemonade. So, Eagles fans, be careful what you wish for, radio host, because you ain't trying to lose Wentz now.
In closing, I'm going to have to maybe throw a little humility to the side just to give you my real point.
Please.
I was injury prone. So I'm not speaking out of turn when I say, Carson Wentz, sorry, brother, you injury prone as well. There was a time when I was on the NFL top 100 list, not once, but twice, 44-38. I mean, it's your boy, damn it. But let me tell you why I got off that list. You got to show up when it matters most. And Carson Wentz, unfortunately, hasn't done that yet. Coming up, Bruce Arians thinks the Bucs are in awe of Tom Brady. We'll tell you if this is real or made up next. Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, sponsored by KFC's $20 fill-up. Drive-thrus open or get delivery by Grubhub.
Hungry.
Let's move to Tom Brady, who we finally get to see throwing passes to his new teammates at the Bucs facility. Brady is bringing a huge resume to Tampa Bay that includes 6 rings and the GOAT label. But Bruce Arians hopes that the aura of Tom Brady won't last too long while the team gets used to their new quarterback. Arians said, quote, "You would hope we would have had spring practice so all of them, especially the young players, could get over the awe of Brady walking in the locker room. But we'll get through that, I think, within a week," close quote. Joined now by LeVar. NFL analyst LeVar, you've been missed, my friend.
My dog.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Happy to be back.
Yes.
I'm going to start with you, big bro. Are you really think the players are in awe of Brady?
Oh, hell yeah. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Look, they just drafted Tristan Wirfs in the first round to shore up the offensive line. He was born in 1999. Tom Brady was drafted months after that. By the time Tristan Wirfs was turning 3, Tom Brady was winning a Super Bowl. So, yeah, when you grow up and your childhood heroes or greats actually come into your life in reality, it is life-changing. I have 2 quick stories just to give it to you like it was given to me. I was drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 1997. I remember walking in that locker room by myself, empty locker room, and I looked to the left, and it says, Reed Andre. I said, And then it said Thomas Thurman. I said, ooh. But you know me, I'm a defensive end. Where his name at? Smith, Bruce, 2 lockers away from me. I was in awe. But that wasn't a practice. That wasn't a game. But let me give it to you when it was during a game situation. First preseason game ever. We played the Denver Broncos. You guys have heard me say it countless times. My 2 favorite athletes growing up, Eric Dickerson and John Elway. We're running out the tunnel. It's pregame. Y'all know how pregame is. We go out there and it's 11 on 11. But since you're a backup, you're just watching those guys get warmed up and go. I'm at the 50-yard line with my back turned to the Denver Broncos. And something just whispered to me, Marcellus, break your concentration. Just turn around a little bit and see who is behind and what they working on in Denver. I turned, y'all, maybe 6 feet away from me, none other than the real number 7, Elway. I went, I couldn't believe it. Now, what Bruce Arians is saying is that will subside fast. It did for me, too. The whole game I was trying to destroy the dude, didn't get a whiff of him, didn't touch him at all. But the point of it is, when you first walk into that situation, hell yeah, you're going to be in awe.
Yeah, that's facts. I think Bruce Arians is on to something. If the players would have had spring ball, you get used to seeing Tom Brady acclimated to the GOAT calling the plays and you in the huddle just sitting there staring at him. Bro, I'm going to take you back 2014, Marcellus.
Let's go.
I got traded from the Cleveland Browns to the Philadelphia Eagles. I didn't really know nothing. I was a young buck going on my 2nd year. I walk into the Eagles locker room, I see that man, Mike Vick. And it don't matter how you feel about Vick as a person. Mike Vick is a cultural icon. Like, straight up, I had my Mike Vicks when I was 13. I bought my first pair. I'm still mad I ain't get Mike Vick to sign him. I'm going to try
to get that. You're going to get that.
But it's real, bro. Yes. I'm playing defense. Mike Vick is on offense as the quarterback. So it's my job to shadow him and to mirror him. And every day I'm like, yo, that's crazy. After about 2 to 3 weeks, it finally subsides. But even further, I get the Tom Brady thing. We would scrimmage the Patriots every trading camp. And we would stay at the same hotel. And Brady was in an elevator one time. I was like, yo, that's Tom Brady. I forgot that he was the opposing quarterback. I'm just like, yo, that's Tom Brady. So Bruce Arians is on to something. I think the Bucs, especially a young team, a team that hasn't really had leadership, especially at that quarterback position, they're going to have to figure out not only how to learn all the plays on a short season, but also, like, you got to get acclimated to the GOAT.
Man, I'm a tad bit perplexed at how you guys went so fanboyish on this topic of conversation.
There you go. He been back home. He got hard.
I think this is so amazing to me. Maybe because I was such an elite football player for so long with such strong records.
Hey, no lie, you were a superstar. You were a superstar.
I got to be honest with you, and I would have thought by you being so young, Acho, you would have went down the other lane just because of being basically a millennial. And it's just interesting to me because I don't see this as being a thing at all. And I'm going to tell you why I don't see it as being a thing. The amount of exposure that these young athletes had these days versus the amount of exposure we did, it's interesting. You guys used basketball references earlier in the show, right? So we're talking about in football, you don't get that type of exposure back in our day to all of the elite football players. You don't see the super ridiculously good NFL college athletes back in our day. We just saw them on television. Right. We read about them in Street and Smith and in Sports Illustrated, ESPN magazine. We're looking at the pictures, putting them on our wall. It's a different culture. Nowadays, these guys are seeing Odell and working out with Odell. Nowadays, guys are catching passes from Cam Newton and Tom Brady. The exposure is different. And the way social media works, the way these guys feel about themselves, if anything, this new breed of athlete that's playing right now are so believable in themselves and so aggressively arrogant in what they represent because of the amount of exposure that they receive at such an early age. They're not only going to look at Tom Brady and be like, man, I got the GOAT throwing it to me, but they're going to be sitting there not saying, wow, it's the GOAT throwing it to me. It's like, nah, I'm going to be the GOAT too. The mentalities have changed because the exposure is very different now.
Lamar, I'm gonna give you that as far as the exposure and the confidence. But I think what you're forgetting is remember, we grow up in a video game era. Like the era that you and Marcel didn't necessarily grow up in as far as like the Maddens of the world.
We had Atari.
This ain't
ColecoVision,
but I'm saying, like, we grew up to the point where I'm gonna be real. You learn about a athlete from the game before you learn about the person. When I first found out coming up here, you was gonna be on. I remember playing the game and you had the neck roll with the 5'6" jersey on and you was a dog on the game. So I think people learn about other people based on the game. So when you see Tom Brady, I don't think it's gonna be as much as like, yeah, I'm gonna be the next GOAT. I'm gonna take over for Tom Brady. As much as it's like, yo, I was just playing with Tom Brady about 5 years ago. Like, remember, we still see the old tweets of Jason Tatum to LeBron James, back in 2014, 2015, like, hey, man, can you please tweet me back? And now they're out here competing against each other. I think that there is, because of the video game culture, at least that my generation of cats grew up with, I think there is going to be a little bit more of like that aura, that in awe type of feeling.
Well, I think there is a little from column A and a little from column B, because I am going to respect what LeVar is saying about this situation. You actually have me perplexed over here, because knowing all these youngsters, that's how they think. But let's be real. Tristan Wirfs is going to walk up to him and say, hey, Mr. Brady. He's going to say, it's Tom. No, okay, Mr. Brady. Like, he's still going to be caught up in awe of the GOAT. Because when we grew up, you know how it was. They always told us, don't date your fantasy. And because we didn't have the same exposure and connectivity, we couldn't date our fantasy. But now these dudes can DM them, see them, work out with them randomly, whatever it may be. Not only do they date their fantasy, they one-night stand their fantasy. They don't even give a damn. They're like, whatever, dude. Like, you're great at what you do, and it's my turn to be great there as well. So when I look at it, we got to be careful that they don't give Tom Brady too much respect when it turns into deference and a reverence where you don't always flex how good you are. That's the only concern you have in situations like this, that you respect them so much you don't show them exactly who you are.
You know, I'm going to finish off with this. You know, when you come into the building and you see those type of legends, I came into the building and saw guys like Darryl Green sitting in the locker room, Deion Sanders sitting in the locker room. I had Bruce Smith in that locker room, Big Daddy Wilkinson in that locker room, Mark Carrier. I could keep going for days of the type of legends that were in that locker room when I first walked in there that first day. But you want to know something? A wise young man said to me, it's a cold world out there, and there ain't no blankets. All right? So the reality here is I got a job to do. And once I take Excalibur down off of that dang locker and Excalibur goes onto my head, I'm out there blanking out. All right? I'm blanking out for idols and titles. And the deal is, we could be cool off the field. I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm walking into the meeting room with these guys. But once we get out onto that field and we cross them lines, that's the Serengeti, friend. And there are no blankets out there in the Serengeti. You either going to hunt or you're going to be hunting. And I for dang sure was not worrying about you being a hero to me while I was out there hunting you.
What I know, the Bucs youngsters are going to try to win a title with their idol.
Yeah.
Coming up, the Chiefs made Patrick Mahomes that $500 million man. Lamar Jackson says titles over money is his focus. We'll tell you if we believe that. Next, speak for yourself.
Fox Thursday Night Baseball is coming out swinging. And this week, J.D. Martinez and Pete Alonso square off as the Red Sox take on the Mets. Another regional action, Francisco Lindor, love that name, leads the Indians against the Twins. That's tonight at 7 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's talk Lamar Jackson. He beat out Patrick Mahomes in NFL's top 100 list, number one. But Mahomes is beating everyone at the bank after signing a 10-year extension for over $500 million. Lamar is set up for a huge payday when he can sign an extension next offseason. But for now, he says that's not his focus. Take a listen.
I just got to win me a Super Bowl. You know, I don't really focus on what he has going on because I still got to prove myself. You know, when that time comes, then we can negotiate after the Super Bowl. But to them, I'm focused on winning right now. I can't put that on my mind. You know, you got to win first. You're not winning, and you won't be worried about no $500 million either.
Joined now by the winner of the last round, LeVar Arrington. But Acho, let's get started with you, big dog. Are you buying Lamar isn't thinking about Mahomes' deal?
I'm completely buying it. I don't think Lamar worried about Mahomes' deal because Lamar already realizes anything Mahomes has done, Lamar still has the opportunity to do better. Mahomes, 25 years old, Super Bowl MVP, NFL MVP. But remember, Lamar at 23 years old already has the NFL MVP. So if he gets him a Super Bowl over the next year or two, he would have done that as well. But I think Lamar knows this. If he chases the title, the money gonna follow him. But if you chase the money, he gonna lose both. Lamar ain't no dummy. He knows, hey, all he got to do is win the games. He's one of the most likable, if not the most likable players in the league. The Ravens let him live his best life. He doesn't have to change his personality. He doesn't have to cower to the organization or cower to the NFL. I think the Ravens are waiting to pay him. He just got to do what he has to do to get paid and to cash in on that check. So he ain't worried about Mahomes' money. He worried about that title, fellas.
Man, all that sounded good in this air conditioning.
Because it was right.
In the air-conditioned studio, it sounds amazing. But you act like you've never been out there before. I know you never got paid. Your brother said that on the show.
Wow.
But
Shots fired.
you actually can do both, which is keep pace with Patrick Mahomes, but still be thinking about that money because there is no glass ceiling. If you want to say there is a ceiling, the ceiling is $503 million. And that's a guy that right now you're keeping pace with. And you threw out stats before comparing career to career. You can't do that. Don't forget who's the junior in this one. You're talking about Jackson is younger by 1 year in terms of career experience than Patrick Mahomes. So let's start comparing when you start seeing who has more wins. Oh, Lamar Jackson in 2 years. Oh, higher win percentage. Oh, combined yards, combined touchdowns. Oh, and the same amount of MVP. So all I need to do, if I'm Mr. Jackson, is just go out there and have playoff success. How dare you even say win a Super Bowl? Oh, he's thinking right now about the Super Bowl because he doesn't even want to talk about money until he checks the same box that Patrick Mahomes checked. And you know what? Last time I checked, every box Patrick has checked, Lamar has checked it as well.
So are you so funny.
Strong.
So are you looking at this as he is thinking about it or not?
I don't
yes,
think
he's doing
Lamar.
both. Yes.
It looked like you was playing both sides of it. But it's all right. And you can tinker if you want. It's your show. Hey, listen, I'm with Acho on this, right?
Oh, God.
I'm going to go with Acho because here's what I'm thinking. Lamar Jackson is after something truly that I believe money cannot buy. And that's the belief and the respect of what it is that he represents. Everything has always been based around questioning what Lamar's ability is, what he can be. You guys just debated on a prior show him not being top tier one quarterback in the league. I believe and I suspect he understands the money part. I don't want to diminish and not make it
now we're talking
that the money doesn't matter. But what I'm telling you is that his awareness of who he is and what he represents is connected to a checklist of proving a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of things wrong about how they look and view him, and that money will come. So I think he understands and puts it in the proper priority. As one of you guys stated, don't chase the money. Let the money chase you. And if he's on his kill list or his checklist of things that really have been what has been considered, in my opinion, very disrespectful. I mean, in order to look at this from the right perspective, or as you would say, Marcellus, the right lens, the right scope of approaching this topic, you got to first give Lamar the respect needed in terms of what his accomplishments have been. He understands that. And even with all of those accomplishments, he sat there and was irritated by the question. Not only irritated that he was asked that, but then totally answered it in a way where he believes that Super Bowl or bust is truly his approach to this. And with that type of mentality, that type of mindset, and that type of understanding of his personal identity, there's more to it to him. He's not thinking about no Pat Mahomes contract.
Man, get the hell out of here. We got three former athletes. We got three former athletes up here. Now we all going to turn into journalists and lie to these people? You a damn lie. Let me tell you this. I love this show. I love you, Acho. I love you, LeVar. Trust me, I'm always thinking about how much I'm getting paid and how much I'm going to get paid. And I know what the ceiling is around here at FS1. Colin, Skip, I know where I want to go. So y'all
don't go for that one.
But I'm still doing
somewhere else. Don't go for that one. You gotta be realistic.
You ain't never lied. Right, I'll kick myself. Here we go.
Shot fired.
But here's the thing, dog. We can't do both. I don't understand this mindset that you're chasing the money. No, you're chasing your greatness, and you're trying to always bring that to your reality. But you know that will be fully compensated because that's why we all go out there and do it. This is not a hobby for us. I'm sorry. This is called professional broadcasting. Upstairs, they're crunching numbers. If you're smart, you'll be downstairs crunching numbers too. You're out there doing something for service. He wants to be compensated. Patrick Mahomes just signed for 100 times the value of his rookie deal. 100 times the value of his rookie deal. He's getting paid $2.6 million this year. Patrick Mahomes signed for $503 million. Y'all trying to tell me he's not thinking about it? I'm not saying he's preoccupied and that's his only focus, but not thinking about it. Boy, y'all act like y'all never played.
The thing is, he ain't got no reason to think about it, Marcellus. 2013, the Ravens made the same position that Lamar Jackson plays, quarterback, the highest paid player in the league in Joe Flacco. Which means, and Joe Flacco, prior to getting paid, prior to cashing in, he'd only passed for 25 TDs in the season. Lamar did 36 last year. So Lamar ain't got to count nobody else's pockets. See, that's where you make your mistake.
Oh,
Marcellus.
yes, you do.
He ain't got to count nobody else's pockets because he knows he's going to get paid. All he has to do is win. That's it.
Acho, counting Patrick Mahomes' money is saying that's my money plus some. So hell yeah, I'm thinking about the new floor for Lamar Jackson is what Patrick Mahomes
Go ahead, LeVar. Get that man, LeVar.
Stall him out, Marcellus, because Acho is right here, and I'm going to tell you why. He has thought about it. You're right.
Thank you.
But he has
Let's go to commercial.
Past tense. We could go to commercial after you understand that it was past
tense.
He
behind
thought about it. So he
Breakdown
has
education
already thought about Patrick Mahomes and all those numbers you broke down and the number crunching taking place upstairs and the number crunching downstairs. It don't take every single day, every single minute to crunch the numbers and figure out the numbers that you want. You come up with them. If he got that, this is what I'm going to be worth. And I'm going back to thinking about the things I need to accomplish that are going to lead to me being respected the way I need to be respected. Now we can go to commercial.
I'm not even disagreeing with y'all.
We can now.
Hey, man, maybe I'm just a different dude. I know how much I make per show and per word, so maybe I'm just different. Coming up, the NBA is back with the Battle of LA in a bubble. We'll tell you if tonight's game means more for the Lakers or my Clippers. Next, Speak for Yourself is presented by Hyundai.
How much you make during that last? Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Time now for rewarding performance, sponsored by Capital One. What's in your wallet? We're all being rewarded tonight with the return of the NBA, baby. And the top two teams in the West facing off, the Lakers and the Clippers. Anthony Davis says the plan is for him to play despite injuring his eye. Marcellus don't want no excuses from the Clippers, who won't have Lou Will, Montrez, or potentially Pat Bev. LeBron James, though, he ready to get it going. Posting on Instagram, stuck on the grind. The marathon continues tonight and forever. Let's get it. Well, let's get it ourselves. Joined now by Slick Rick Bucher. But Marcellus, I'm going to start with you. Who needs a statement win tonight more? The Clippers or them Lakers?
Them damn Lakers, them damn tweeting Lakers, them Instagram Lakers, always talking about how their mindset is. So I won't give you any excuses. You're right. I'll give you some reasons why the Lakers need it. One, they're not playing the Clippers. They're playing the like dog. We gonna have our number one player, Kawhi, out there, who has not yet even showed up in the bubble. Like, Kawhi is like, who gives a damn? He shoot like 12 or 46. Kawhi is like, forget all this. Let me know when it's finals time. PG is going to be there. He's been balling. But no Trez, no Lou Will, and then game time decision with Patrick Beverly. You're not playing our squad. So, Lakers, if y'all can't beat us, we're already up on the season series 2-1. Y'all can't beat us while we jogging, it's a wrap. So this for the mentality of the Lakers. And let's talk about their mentality, because we know they're not as deep as the Clippers, and they're older than the Clippers. So they really have to have urgency in moments like this. Mr. Tweeter, LeBron James, who posted on IG as well a week ago, quote, "Let's get it. We back at it. Can't wait." It's not just a scrimmage. Not to me, though. Championship mindset all the time. Y'all got a championship mindset on the first game, June 30th, in the bubble. We just recovering from wings and things, brother. We ain't tripping on this right now. It is a playoff situation mentally for us when we get to the playoffs, not before.
Bro, here's the thing, man. I can't stand to hear any more Lakers slander, and somehow, unfortunately, I have to agree with you. The Lakers, they do need this win the most.
Hell yeah.
And they need it because, like you said, to a degree, it comes with mentality. Mike Tyson, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The Lakers, they got a plan. LeBron, hashtag Wash King, hashtag revenge season. LeBron in his head, he got a plan. He realizes he needs another chip. Not just for the Lakers, but for his own dynasty, for his own resume. LeBron knows everything that is at stake. He also knows that the last time they saw the Clippers, they won by 9 points. That was in the last week of the season before everybody went on hiatus because of COVID. So LeBron realizes the last time there was a litmus test, the Lakers had the head up. But the Lakers also had Avery Bradley, who went crazy that game.
Thank you.
They ain't got Avery Bradley no more.
Dude.
So the Lakers got to figure out where exactly do they fall in the West, and they'll find out tonight. I know it's going to be a long little stretch, but tonight's going to tell a lot about who the Lakers are and where the Lakers stand.
I leave the show for one day, and I come back to this.
A mess.
I don't even know who you guys are. What did you guys do with the Marcellus Wiley and the Emmanuel Acho that I was last on the show with? Because that Marcellus Wiley was telling me about how the fact that Avery Bradley and Rajon Rondo, now that they're gone, the Lakers are done. They're not a factor. So what kind of statement are they going to make tonight? I don't understand. And you, Acho.
And you.
Caruso going to his wedding. And Lou Williams going to nude ballet to get wings. Like, that was an indication that the Clippers are not focused the way they need to be. So what happened to that, Acho?
True.
Because what do you need to make another statement if you've already made the state? Like, The Clippers are the team that they're not treating this like an NBA bubble. They're treating it like an NBA revolving door. Has anybody seen Montrezl Harrell yet? Pat Bev, where are you? By the way, did we check to see if there was any barbecue sauce around him when he came back?
Boom, boom, boom. Uh-oh, Acho.
Clippers, to me, made a statement at the beginning of the year when they won that game 1 and then they won game 2. And we let them take the rest of the year off because they're like, yeah, you know what? They proved they're better than the Lakers. That's all they needed to prove. But at this point, the Lakers having the best record in the Western Conference, the second best record overall, and the Clippers, like, taking their sweet time, deciding to get to the bubble and put this thing together, it's the Clippers that need to remind us that they are the better team. They're going to have their best 2 players on the floor. Lakers expecting the same. I need to see the Clippers demonstrate that they are, once again, the most talented team in this matchup.
Look, man, when you know you really don't have a chance, you got to fake it till you make it. You got to fake out the other team and make them think you got a chance. And that's the Lakers. So right now, we are acting accordingly because we don't care about right now. We care about building our season. Remember last year when Kawhi Leonard was in Toronto, and no one said that they were going to win the championship, and no one saw what was coming in the playoffs that occurred in the playoffs because Kawhi Leonard is just a guy who's like, when it matters, I'll be there. Until then, y'all have fun with all that. Y'all have fun IGing and tweeting and getting all the news coverage from how great you look in the regular season, Milwaukee, Lakers, whatever you want to do. So our team is built for when it matters most. And no one's going to sit here and tell me that tonight matters. So if we were even at full throttle, we would be halfway tapping the gas because it doesn't matter. But for the Lakers in this 0 dark 30, 23 and all these, what other hashtag LeBron got every single damn game and year? He's out there saying all this stuff. Them boys got to come out revving. I hope it makes sense.
Here's my thing, Slit. If the Lakers don't win, the sky is falling. If the Clippers don't win, the Clippers just going to have every excuse, and Marcellus going to lead the charge with all the excuses on tomorrow's show.
More wins.
But if the Lakers don't win, it's literally going to be the sky is falling. The Lakers have to win. They need the statement win more because the Lakers need the chip more, because LeBron needs the chip more. Like, let's cut all the little journalistic conversation. It comes down to this. LeBron needs the title. And LeBron needs this win because this win is going to dictate how everybody feels going forward. So if the Clippers don't win, we just going to be like, yeah, I don't mean nothing. The Clippers didn't win no way. But if the Lakers don't win, the sky is falling. That's really all it comes down to, Slick.
You are aware that Anthony Davis has been experimenting with the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles, and there was a question of whether he's going to play or not.
Yeah.
And he's the second best player.
Ooh.
We gave the Clippers an out because Paul George wasn't available in that first game, and they still won. So the Lakers can't prove anything. If they lose, it'll be like, well, AD wasn't right. He had the poke in the eye. He's not right. They can't ultimately make a statement unless, of course, AD is impaired and the Lakers win anyway. If they lose, they go, look, we don't have Avery Bradley. We don't have Rajon Rondo. We didn't have a fully healthy Anthony Davis. I don't see where the Lakers have anything to lose in this game. They proved they were the best team over the course of the season in the Western Conference. We continue to talk about the Clippers as if they're the best in spite of the record.
We don't.
But
Marcellus
we did
does.
that because of what they did head-to-head with the Lakers. They need to do that again.
Strong.
It wasn't that strong. Coming up,
Kinda
Lamar
strong.
Jackson was voted the NFL's top
strong.
player over that guy, Pat Mahomes. We'll ask our resident Chiefs fan, Uncle Jimmy, if he was shocked by that selection. Next, speak for yourself.
I don't believe it. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Let's talk Lamar Jackson, who beat out Patrick Mahomes and was voted the #1 player in the NFL's top 100 list. Joined now by Chiefs super fan, Uncle Jimmy. I'm laughing at you, brother. I know you're surprised the players voted Lamar NFL's best over your boy Mahomes, huh?
Hey, man, this is America, land of the free, and the home of the what? Chiefs. So therefore, y'all know the rules. Patrick Mahomes didn't choose this game. This game chose him.
Oh, God.
And too much that is given, too much has to be accepted.
Talk about it.
Let me ask y'all a question.
Talk
Is
to
he
me.
or is he not the highest paid player in the NFL?
Highest paid.
Yep. Did he or did he not just win the Super Bowl? Yep. Is he or is he not biracial and good looking? Yep.
What?
Is that or is not the reason you two mocha-flavored brothers are setting up hating on him on the backhand side?
That was him, huh?
Hey,
That was him, huh?
keep it real.
That was me.
He's not making the most money the next 3 years. Dak Prescott gonna double his contract, and it's half as good. Take that. That's it for us.